I'm James.
I'm Adam.
I'm Ian.
And we're
Water and Drought.
Yay! So personally, why I chose this topic is because I wanted to know what was happening locally and in California, and I wanted to see how big of an impact the drought made on California itself and what we can do about it.
Just like Alison, I chose the topic because it is very local and it has affected me personally, and I also wanted to do further research on why this happened.
I chose this topic because I wanted to see how California could work around the drought and some ways that we could do to save some water.
I chose this topic to get more of a better understanding of droughts and how it affects me and the residents of California.
Cool. So our research question is there an overconsumption of water between consumers and farmers in California? And the way we developed this question was we actually changed this question a bunch of times, almost every single day of the camp. But we came up with this question because we all agreed on it, because it covers both agricultural needs for water and consumer demands for water. And we thought that was really important subjects, and yeah.
The weird thing for us was that we actually did a lot of research and data collection first, and then we made a question based on all of that data. And mainly the water usage came from the agricultural side, but we had more access to the consumer side, so we decided to find the midpoint between farms and people.
Cool. So the next slide is fun facts. So I'm here to liven you up. And I'm going to ask you some questions, and you guys can raise your hands, and whoever gets the closest number for our trivia gets that water bottle over there. Yay! And it's sponsored by UC Davis, so thank you, UC Davis. So how many gallons does an American household waste per year? Anyone?
240.
240? No. Yes?
1,000.
No. Anyone else?
9,455.
No, actually 10,000. You're the closest, so you get a water bottle. Yay! The next question is how many gallons does a broken toilet bowl leak per day?
And just a hint, the number is the same as the average age of a farmer.
35.
Wait, I'm sorry. Wait, who said 65? But it's 60, but you're close. So you get a water bottle! Yay! The next question is, how many gallons can a loose shower head leak yearly? And this is the last water bottle left. So, anyone? 1,000? No. Anyone else?
300.
300? No. One more?
3,000.
3,000? 300 is the closest. 500 was the answer. Yay! Yay! So please check your house appliances when you get home for leaks or anything, because you can be wasting a lot of gallons of water. But if that doesn't motivate you, you could save 10% on your water bill if you check those. Cool. So the next slide is, did you know? So as you know, water ties into food waste and food sustainability, and you need water to plant crops and stuff. And if there's no water, of course, there's going to be no food in California or the United States, because California actually provides 1/3 of the country's vegetables and 2/3 of the country's fruits and nuts. And that's a huge bulk of California's the United States' consumption. And there's a lot of people who are food insecure in America. As you can see on the picture above, these are the percentage per state that is food insecure. And actually, 1 in 6 Americans are food insecure in America. So please save your water for California's agriculture so we could save food for the United States. Save the world, yay!
All right, so down to serious business. So my team and I, we conducted a survey and regarding the conservation of water. And one of the survey questions we asked were, would you be comfortable in reducing your shower time by 1 to 2 minutes? We were shocked to see that about 75% of the 60 pollers actually care about the environment, and they were willing to do that. So that's pretty cool. And we make this beautiful water guide. It shows that 1 acre-feet is equivalent to about 326,000 gallons. And although the winter of 2016 was the wettest winter that we've had in about 122 years, it was only able to bring our surface surface reservoirs up to 22 out of their 45 million acre feet capacity. And that's not enough to fill our annual 30 to 40 million acre feet demand. As for usage, consumers use about 20% of the water, and the agricultural field uses about 80% of the water. And on the left, you can see this is Folsom Lake, so it's very local. On the left is a picture of the Folsom Lake. It's, what is it? That's 2011 and that's 2014, and you can see that the water has substantially decreased because of the drought.
Looking back at our research, we found that 30 to 40 million acre feet of water is the total amount of water that both consumers and farmers can use, and farmers that use a total of 32 million acre feet of water, and consumers that use a total of 8 million acre feet of water. And if the water consumption is greater than or equal to 40 million acre feet of water, then there is an overconsumption of water. And if the water consumption is less than 40 million acre feet of water, then there isn't an overconsumption of water. And on average, California residents use a total of 38,325 gallons per year, and this number has risen to 41,610 gallons per year without mandatory restrictions.
So you guys probably get, we are in a drought right now and we are overusing our water. So what are our farmers doing about it? So we have three broad solutions that farmers are currently using to solve this crisis. First, we have different kind of watering systems. One example is drip irrigation, where we can monitor the amount of water that goes into each plant to prevent overwatering, as well as using each drop of water to its full potential. Second, we have software for calculation of how much water to use to water our crops, and it takes into account climate, weather, and soil conditions, so you can get the best use for your water. And it can save up to 25% of the water that we use annually. And third, we have drones, which is mainly for observational purposes, such as field level and crop health, so we can calculate the amount of water to use as well. And so now that farmers are taking actions, here are 5 tips to what you can do to take action as well. So first, please reduce time in personal care. So if you spend 1 to 2 minutes less taking a bath, brushing your teeth, putting a bucket under the shower while you're waiting for the warm water, you can save up to 1,100 gallons per month. Second, fix your leaks. So like Alison said, we have major leak waste. Faucets leak up to 1.4 gallons a day, which is surprising because considering all the little droplets, you can produce 1.4 gallons, which is basically the size of one of those Costco milk jugs. And second is the toilets. It leaks up to 60 gallons a day, like we said. And that is also very surprising because this one day, one toilet, you can get 30 containers of Costco milk. And I only drink 2 jugs of milk in 2 weeks. So you can see that scale. And not only that, you can save 10% on your water bills as well. So that's a little extra win-win. And third, this is not really talked about, but globally we waste 45 trillion gallons of water in food waste alone, which accounts for 24% of all the water used in global agriculture. Fourth, express your concerns. So tell your family, tell your friends that this is the problem, and although we are in a better situation now, this can happen in the future. So by doing more right now, you can prevent something that happened 1-2 years ago, like in 2014, from happening in the future where we have 9 billion people in this world. And also, if you care very deeply about this topic, then you can contact your reps, ask them what's happening, what you can do, what they're doing, and encourage them to take action as well. And lastly, this applies a lot to Californians. We have big lawns, and 50% of the consumer use of water actually are used in lawns, which is a very big number. That's around 3 to 4 million acre feet. And what you can do is, instead of using sprinklers, you can water at night, prevent overuse of water, make sure the water isn't evaporating or going somewhere else like the street. And you can also make and create eco-friendly gardens that use less water.
One thing that was very shocking to us was that we don't have enough water inside our surface reservoirs to fill our yearly demand, so we have to rely on resources like groundwater, which is very hard to replenish since it's so far underwater. And all the topics that you're going to hear today, water and drought, food sustainability, and urban agriculture, they all tie in together, because without water you can't grow enough agriculture and you can't sustain your growing population.
And something that challenged us while we were making this presentation was to cover all interests. As I said before, we had to cover both agriculture and consumerism, and we thought those topics were the most important ones, so we chose those. And remember that California provides 1/3 of the country's vegetables and 2/3 of the country's fruits and nuts. And it only takes you 2 minutes less in the shower and for you to check your house appliances in order for you to save the world. Yes.